Afghanistan. I mean, it's 20 years of our lives focused in on that issue. I think that's why it was important that we had both Simone and James on the show. But I want you to hear, this clip. Now, this is actually me in 2011. In 2011, I can't believe how much time has gone by, talking about Afghanistan. I was on C-SPAN, and they were asking me about the drawdown that was going to take place in 2011. Listen to this. From the very first time that it was announced, that President Obama announced the drawdown, there were a lot of people frustrated by giving a date. There was also the other side that said we needed to have some kind of resolution to this, some kind of drawdown. But the drawdown date itself has been used by the Taliban, this I can tell you because I know this, as a propaganda message for recruitment. And the Taliban wants to be back in power. Mind you, they have no problem waiting us out. They are patient and they will wait us out. And unfortunately, we've seen a resurgence of Taliban that we didn't see in the early years after the invasion. We're seeing that now. So I think this is a very difficult subject because if we draw down in July 2011, according to the people that I've spoken with, if we do not have the resources there to stop this, if we do not give General Petraeus what he needs to win, and win is a really strange word because what winning entails may not be what everyone thinks, but to dismantle the Taliban and to dismantle some of these groups so that the Afghan people themselves can get on their own feet. What we could see in Afghanistan is a resurgence of the Taliban, a new safe haven for terrorist organizations, and a problem that will come back to haunt us in the future. And that was it. That was the truth. And that's what I saw. And that's the reason why I traveled into the region to tell the stories directly from the war zone, because there was no other way to get that information. No other way at all. That's why I'm going to the border now. I mean, this is the funniest thing that I have seen in a long time. And this is President Biden. I don't mean to be bashing on him right here. On immigration, this is him speaking to the joint session. He was at the national address, and Ted Cruz is literally, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas is literally falling asleep as Biden is talking. Listen to this. I started.
Immigration has always been essential to America. Let's end our exhausting war over immigration. For more than 30 years, politicians have talked about immigration reform, and we've done nothing about it. It's time to fix it. On day one of my presidency, I kept my commitment and sent a comprehensive immigration bill to the United States Congress. If you believe we need to secure the border, pass it because it has a lot of money for high-tech border security. If you believe in a pathway to citizenship, pass it. There's over 11 million undocumented folks, the vast majority of here overstaying visas. Pass it. We can actually, if you actually want to solve a problem, I've sent a bill to take a close look at it.
Ted Cruz is if you guys aren't watching this on YouTube, Ted Cruz literally is his eyes are opening wide, they were shut, and he just can't even believe he's still there. He must have been having some kind of weird dream. Something was going on there. By the way, when you look at this video and you see the historic moment of two women in power behind the President of the United States, of Vice President Kamala Harris, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and then their faces, literally they've been vaccinated, but their faces are covered in masks, kind of like Silence of the Lambs or something back there. I don't even know what's going on, but it is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous that is the first historic photo op, the first historic moment of two women in power in American history with their faces covered. Okay, I know it's COVID and everything, but come on. If you've had your vaccinations, the president's mask is off, you can take off your mask. Maybe they were using it because it was so boring that they would try to hide their eyes behind their mask while he was talking. I have no idea. That something was going on there. I would have suggested, if I was there, you know what? Optics, schmoptics. Throw away those masks. You guys have already had your vaccination. Let's move on with it. Let's get going. Stop trying to virtue signal. By the way, speaking of virtue signalers, Joy Reid, so insane. she is like bragging about being vaccinated and double masking. This is like getting crazy, folks. Listen to this.
I am among the fully vaccinated, joined Team Pfizer, and I did go jogging today in the park. This was the mask that I wore with a doctor's mask under it. And most of the people that I saw that were in the park was packed. I would say like 95% of the people still had masks on.
Why? Why do they have masks on? Even the CDC said you could take off your mask if you're outside. I don't know what they want to cover their face. Do they want to give up? They want to give up freedoms. It's like, oh, I can, this is crazy because I want you to think about this. There's like this whole group of people in the world that really desperately desire to belong to a club where their leader tells them what to do about everything. They're like, if Biden walked out and said the best way to fight COVID is that we all wear bubble suits, they would all jump into a bubble suit. If Biden came out or Dr. Fauci came out and said pink really distracts COVID, so wear bright pink outfits, they would want to wear bright pink outfits and then they would wear it every day, even when they found out that it didn't work. They would just do it. That's how easy it is. I never realized I lived really in a world of sheep until this happened. Because even now, they're saying, please, you don't need to wear your mask outside. Just stop doing it. But they're like, no, I'm going to be like part of the big club of mask wearers. And we're going to virtue signal. And we're going to make everybody else who doesn't wear a mask feel like a criminal. Yeah, thanks, Joy Reid, but no thanks. You obviously need to belong. You need to connect. You want to be a part of that group. You say, all these ideas about liberty and blah, 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 but really deep down inside, you just want to be like everyone else and you need a leader to tell you exactly what to do. I have no idea why. I personally like my liberty. I have had my vaccination, mask off when I'm outside. I don't run around trying to virtue signal to everybody. I still follow it if it's a private business, but that's it. I'm not sitting there putting my mask on all day long. Last but not least, and before I leave you for today, I really think it's important that we just touch on a couple of things. That John Brennan is definitely a communist. We have to bring that up because the former CIA director, published a recent opinion editorial where he tweeted out and tried to promote this truly anti-Semitic comment. And he, this is just part of the Obama administration. They are communists. They hate our allies like the state of Israel. That's really who they are. They really show you who they are every day. And this is what he said in his tweet, and this was with his New York Times opinion piece, how he said he always found it difficult to fathom how a nation of people deeply scarred by a history replete with prejudice, religious persecution, and unspeakable violence perpetrated against them would not be empathetic champions of those whose rights and freedoms are still abridged. Of course, that's his double speak for he hates Israel and he doesn't want the state of Israel to exist, which is the reason why John Kerry recently went after, we basically heard the truth that John Kerry allegedly leaked a ton of information to the Iranians about Israeli operations. President Obama, his administration had a disdain for Israel. I think it spilled over into Biden's administration as well. And Hunter Biden is now apparently an educator. He is going to be speaking at Tulane University, which is so crazy, ridiculous. And Rudy Giuliani is, of course, being investigated for being a criminal, one of the greatest mayors of New York. So there, I have left you with something to think about in our upside down world. Thank you so much for being a part of the Sara Carter Show. Remember, you can get all my links at saracarter.com. Thank you for being a part of this podcast. Here at the Sara Carter Show, we are taking the story back.